I feel like at least for me, like I don't have
Mhm.
any questions right now, but like while I'm working, I'll have issues on like trying to figure out how to um I guess work on shape in general.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally cool. It is probably like the first time you are using it, so practice. And you'll definitely get the hang of it. So yeah. Um, were there like other questions, maybe some things that I should just like a few reminders that I might be able to give you guys that might help?
I have a quick
Or like,
question.
yeah, what's up?
Um, but like specifically my case, like how to like get rid of the dimension that says like 0.5,
Hmm.
the things on the if I can share my screen, that would be
I do want to like carry on with the lecture, so if we can circle back to that, maybe I can help you later on because I do want to make sure to cover the stuff we're going to go over today right now. And then
okay.
like specific cases, if you guys need help, we can go over that at the end, if that's
Okay.
okay.
And Annika, I wanted to add, if
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna have some time where you're doing like individual
yeah,
work, and yeah. So today we're
yeah,
gonna have time where you're gonna do individual work just to kind of like, try things out. But we'll all, it's not gonna be like a breakout room. It's like we're all just here, so then you
yeah,
can just literally ask away like while you're
exactly.
working. So you'll we'll
Yep,
have time to do that today.
for sure, for sure. Thanks, Ryan. A couple of things, a couple of reminders maybe from last time. This might help jog your memory, but basically we covered sketching. We covered how to make a new sketch, how to um, use the dimension tool to dimension your sketch, the various different like tools that we have to create different geometries. So we had a circle, arc, um, square, whatever, rectangle. Then we had a dimension tool to kind of dimension each one of those things individually. Um, and then one rule of thumb was make sure that there's no blue lines in your sketch. So whenever you have a blue line, you know that it's not defined. That particular object is not defined. And the way you can make sure, or like the way you can verify that it's not defined, is if you like click on the blue line and then move it around, you'll be able to see the you'll be able to see that does not sound right. You can see the direction that like it's not defined in, or like the particular point it's not defined at. So that might help you kind of figure out, okay, this is the particular point that's not defined. I need to define it. And then eventually, once you do have it fully defined, which means that everything is done with respect to a defined point on your sketch, you'll end up with a black outline, which means that you fully defined your part. Um, that's a really good rule of thumb, especially with what we're going to do now to make sure that everything is fully defined. Because if you like ill define something and then you try to extrude it, it might just yell at you, or it might throw a bunch of errors, and that's definitely not something that we want. So that's just a quick overview of last time. I hope that is uh sounds familiar, maybe kind of, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of start going over the stuff that we're going to go over today. Hmm. All right. So we're going to go over part modeling today. So maybe a question that you had last time was, why the hell are we spending so much time just like drawing stuff out? Like CAD is not CAD. Is it a drawing software? Like, no, it's not just a drawing software. Like what you can do with CAD is you can take that sketch you have in 2D and, extend it to 3D and make a part out of it. So at the end of the day, everything that is really made in real life is all geometries, right? And at the crux, it's all just shapes which have been extruded to create a larger part. And so today we're going to learn how to do stuff in 3D and make parts, as compared to just doing sketches in 2D, and basically what we did last time. So that said, let's move on. So the plan of action will be quick check-in. We already did that. Introduction to some of the features. Then I'll model a part for you guys. It's an interesting part. I'll show you later on. You guys are gonna get a break after that, after I'm done modeling that part. You guys will have some time to work on some independent practice, which will just be the part I modeled previously. You guys can, have a hand at that. We'll have an exercise after that, and then a bonus challenge if we have time. So yeah. So introduction to features. So basically, when you take a sketch into 3D, this will make a lot more sense when I actually start doing it in Onshape. But in essence, what we're going to be covering today is an extrusion. You can have two types of extrusions. You can have a boss extrusion or a cut extrusion, which boss basically means creating a 3D shape, and cutting basically means cutting something out of a 3D shape. Then you can have a revolve cut and a revolve boss, which is basically what it sounds like. You can take a drawing in 2D and you can revolve it to create something in 3D. As per a face or a sketch that you've laid out, and then revolve boss is creating something in 3D. That cut is just removing it in 3D, that or like revolution in 3D. Sweeping, and yeah, so basically a sweep, you can think of it as extruding something along a path. So when I sweep something, I have to define two different sweep points, or like two different sweep faces, and then a path along those two faces which I want to sweep on, and that'll help you create an extrusion of that. I'll demonstrate all of this, so don't worry about any of this right now. And then the last thing are chamfers and fillets. Chamfers basically mean edges, or like sharp edges. Fillets mean smooth edges. And then the final thing we're going to cover is mirror entities and line patterns, which I'm going to go over first, actually. A lot of you may have, like, while creating windows in your sketches in Onshape, you guys may have realized that it's super tedious, like one by one, drawing out all the windows with equal spacing and defining each of those one by one. So what we can use is something called the linear pattern tool, which basically helps you duplicate something in a linear fashion and define it with respect to your original point. And then one more thing we're going to be covering is like the mirror tool, which I think a lot of you use, but nonetheless, we're going to go over it. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to open Onshape. Also, if you guys have any questions, just shout out. That's totally cool. Just yell out if you have any questions, because I am looking at my screen right now and I can't see you guys that well. So, all right. First things first, I do kind of want to show you how to use the linear pattern tool. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start a new sketch. Suppose I want to start a sketch on the top plane. Come on. Hey. And on the top plane. All right. Then what I can do is, like, I don't even know what I'm drawing here, but like, okay, let's draw a Lego brick or something. That's my rectangle. I'll make this like 40. And I'll make this like 20. What I can do is, like, you know how Lego bricks have like those pegs on top? We can sketch out a circle here and dimension the circle. Make sure. Dimension the circle. All right, that's now fully defined. Just excuse the dimensions. I just went with whatever they were as default. And then how I basically use linear pattern is I have this tool right here, right? This one with the 4 rectangles, or like the 4 squares. I hit linear pattern. It's going to prompt me for a couple things. So come on now. It's going to ask me a couple things. It's going to show 1x in the y direction, which basically means that in this particular instance, the default is that linear pattern only has one instance in the y direction. So all of your instances will be in the x direction. As you can see, there's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. So what you can do is actually you can just change the distance in between them. So like if I want a distance of 10 millimeters or something in between them, and I want to have 4 instances of those circles, then I have like 4 pegs in my Lego brick. And that's basically how I use the linear pattern tool. So the same thing goes for the y direction. If I change the number of instances, then I'll have the option to change the distance in between them and whatnot. So, and that just helps you multiply this with respect to the original sketch. So if I go back to my 4 dots here and I hit OK on the sketch, and I go back into it, you'll see that all of them have a black outline, which means they're all fully defined. Because they're all been done with respect to this one. So if you guys were creating windows in your buildings, you could have used the linear pattern tool to kind of multiply the number of circles or the number of squarical windows that you guys are making, and that would have helped you guys with your sketches. Second thing that I want to go over is the mirror tool. So basically how mirror works. Yeah. What's up?
Can I ask a question about the linear pattern?
Yeah, of course.
So like in the y direction, is there a way of because it's in the positive y direction. Is there a
Yeah.
way to make it in the negative
Negative
y
y direction. Yeah, so what you do is basically, where did my y direction go? My y
Because
direction
like
disappeared,
I
but
did drag, like I know you can drag it, but
Mhm.
I couldn't
It's not.
get it like perfectly
Yeah,
aligned.
yeah. So Onshape, for some reason, it doesn't have like any flip feature, like where you can just flip the direction. But what you can do is instead of making the distance in between two different points positive, you'll notice that it's positive, right? Just
Yeah.
change it to a negative sign and it'll go in the other direction.
I think okay. I thought I
That
tried
should
that, but
work.
okay, I'll try it. Okay. All
Because
right,
like
thank
if
you.
yeah, no worries. If I take this 10, if it lets me edit this 10, I don't want to mirror anything. Okay. If it lets me edit this 10 and make it like negative 10, it should just hop over right into the other direction. And the
Oh,
distance between these
okay.
2 points is now negative 10.
Oh, you know what I did? Where the multiplication, I made that a negative. But okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. The multiplication is just a number of instances, but yeah, to change the direction, just make the number negative. Okay, awesome. Any other questions about linear pattern? This thing is a lifesaver. It's so good.
Oh, what button did you click to get there?
It's this button in the top, which has the 4 squares. If you hover over it, it'll say linear pattern right here. This one.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No worries. Sounds good. Any other questions? Linear pattern stuff? Yeah, no, maybe. Okay, cool. Second thing I wanted to go over is the mirror tool. Mirror is basically what it sounds like. If you select the mirror tool, which is these like L's, which are mirrored across the construction line, these two, what it'll ask you is just to select the mirror line. So suppose I want to select this axis as my mirror line. You can always also just draw a construction line and select that as your mirror line. Basically, any line can be used as a mirror line. And then it'll ask you for the entities that need to be mirrored. In this case, I just want to mirror these 4 circles, right? And boom, there I have, I don't even know, a rectangle with unevenly spaced circles. And I've created 8 of them that are all fully defined because of these 2 tools. Any questions about mirror?
You know how you said that they're not really spaced apart evenly? How would
Yeah.
you fix that?
That's just how you dimension it. But I very roughly dimensioned it just to demonstrate
okay.
demonstrate the concept. So yeah, you just have to do the math and see what the mathematics is in order to evenly space them out. Or yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
I try to do that on mine,
Mhm.
but yeah, like you know how the right side is, I try to move them, but I couldn't move them. But I guess
Okay.
just carry on. I'll probably understand that once you maybe do it eventually.
Okay, yeah, no worries. If you have like during like the independent work time, if you have questions about linear pattern, I'll totally be down to answer them. Okay, sounds good. Anything else which might be of interest or of curiosity? All right, that said, the first thing with respect to parts that I would like to demonstrate is, we're gonna go ahead and delete this sketch. The first thing that I'm going to demonstrate is a simple extrusion. So if you guys want to follow along, that would be awesome. We're going to start a new sketch. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and sketch out a rectangle because I don't know, nothing else comes to mind. And I'm going to make it like, you know what, we're just going to go do 20 by 40 again. 20 by 40 millimeters. Also my workspace units are in millimeters because you'll understand why later. But yeah, basically we're gonna do a 20 by 40 rectangle, and you guys should all be comfortable with this, right? Sketching. Cool. So basically once I'm done with my sketch and I press this green button, it's going to display in my workspace like this, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to take this little rectangle and I want to extrude it upwards. Like, suppose I want to extrude this upwards by like 20 millimeters. How would I do that? That's basically the question is like, how do I take this 2D cross section of whatever I'm doing and how do I make it 3D? So the way you do that is using this very magical tool called extrusion. It's right next to your sketch button, and it's like a box within a box. So basically you click extrusion. What the first thing it's going to ask you is the faces or sketch regions that you want to extrude. In this case, sketch 1 is the sketch I want to extrude, or what I can do as well is just click on the face that I'm trying to extrude. So if I click on this, it'll say, oh, face of sketch 1, you're trying to extrude that, whatever. And it'll display with a dialogue, which is like an arrow, and not a dialogue, but like it'll display with a graphic, which is an arrow, and the translucent outline of what your extrusion is going to look like. So what I can do is I can change the depth of my extrusion. That's basically how big I want to make the cross section, or how much the distance of the cross section that I want to make is. So in this case, we said 20 millimeters, so I can change that to 20. And lo and behold, we have an extrusion of 20 millimeters. My rectangle is now extruded by 20 millimeters, so now I have a rectangular prism. And I can pan around it using my tools up here and see that it's a 3D object. Does anybody have questions about that, or want me to demonstrate anything again?
Yeah, if you don't mind to just like do it real quick again.
Yeah, okay. So once again, I'll just go over the extrusion part of what I just did. And feel free to ask questions if I'm going too fast. Just tell me to slow down, like feel free. Basically, when we extrude, it's this tool right here, which is the box within the box right next to the sketch button. If you hover over it, you'll also realize the shortcut is Shift E. So what you need to do is it'll prompt you for the face that you want to extrude. And basically, when you're talking about an extrusion, the thing that you're trying to extrude is just a 2D cross section of your part, right? So what I can do is I can take that cross section, the 2D cross section, which in this case is sketch 1, right? So I just go over here, click on sketch 1, or what I can just do is click on the sketch right here directly. It doesn't matter. Whatever floats your boat. And then changing no settings, I can just make the depth of this extrusion 20 millimeters, because that's what we want to do the extrusion as. And once I hit OK, I'll have a 3D rectangular prism. Cool. Questions? No questions? Okay, awesome. Similarly, when you want to suppose you want to get rid of something from this extrusion. Now, suppose you want to cut something out or make a cutout or something. So the best way you'll do that is start a sketch. Start a sketch on one of the surfaces of your extrusion. So now what you can think of this as is you're not only limited to sketching on the planes. You can now also sketch on any surface of the extrusion that you made. So in this case, we have 6 surfaces, and we can sketch on any of them. So I'm just gonna choose the bottom as a surface I want to sketch on. I'm just gonna click the surface that I want to sketch on. So in this case, it's the bottom surface. I'm gonna click that surface and start the sketch. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a circle at the center. And I'm going to make the diameter of this circle 10 millimeters. And because it's already at the origin, everything is defined with respect to its positioning on the 3 planes. And once again, in order to get rid of stuff from this part, I can use the extrude tool. And instead of doing a solid, instead of doing an addition this time, we can do a removal. And we can do a removal of 20 millimeters to remove a hole from our rectangular prism. And it looks like this. I'm not even sure what the point of this part is, but cool. Does that kind of make sense to everyone? Yeah, I see a thumbs up. Any more thumbs ups? Couple thumbs ups. Awesome. So yeah, that's basically boss extrusions and cut extrusions. Cool. The next thing I would like to demonstrate to you guys, which is another very interesting concept, is something called a fillet. So a fillet, basically what it is it takes any edge any edge, any straight edge. And what you can do with it is you can make it rounded. So if I take it like this and I just click on that edge, what I can do is I can set a fillet radius, which is basically the radius of the circle that fillet actually takes the shape of. So in this case, if I like put a center point of this circle here and measure the radius, it would be 3 millimeters. And hence, if I increase the radii of the circle, it's just going to keep increasing the amount of fillet that I have on my part. So in this case, I want to do like a 4 millimeter fillet. It's just gonna make a rounded edge with respect to that circle. The time which fillets are really useful is like to increase structural integrity of your part. So suppose you're doing like a T bracket or anything which has like a joint like this, or if you guys can see my camera, anything that looks like this, anything that has a T, if you fillet the inside, it's gonna make it a lot more structurally sound and less, prone to breaking when you don't want it to. So that's just one way of increasing like structural integrity is by using fillets. Also, like if you have sharp edges on something and you're worried about hurting yourself, you can also fillet it then. And like I can fillet whatever edges I want to fillet, and it's just gonna make them rounded. So I can do all of the edges just for some sort of aesthetic purpose. I have no idea. And boom. Now I have some round looking thing, but yeah, okay. Fillets. Is that clear to everyone? Yeah. Yeah. Double thumbs up from Ryan. Okay, cool. Next thing is called a chamfer. A chamfer is basically a straight edge along two specified distances. So in this case, if I want to add a chamfer to like this rim right here, basically what a chamfer is, it's going to create an edge like this, or any sharp edge, to be honest. And in this case, our chamfer is of equal distance. So basically what a chamfer looks like is, let me pull a picture of chamfer up. Yeah. So a chamfer is basically an Onshape is like literally follows this image. There's one distance specified here and one distance specified here. This is your first distance. This is your second distance. And with respect to these, it creates this straight edge. That's what a chamfer is. And in this case, our distances are set to equal and 5 millimeters each. And that's why it's creating this angled thing here, which exists. But I can also make it like two distances, or I can do two distances at an angle, which if we go back to this right here, is just defined by this. So one distance and an angle. Yeah. And that's just if you want to add an angle or a straight angle to your sketches. So an angle is a slope along an edge. Yeah. Okay. Questions about chamfers? So we've learned 4 tools. The extrude tool, which has a boss extrusion, which is to create a part, cut extrusion to get rid of a part, or like to get rid of something, a portion of a part. We've got a fillet, which is to round off an edge, and then we've got a chamfer, which is to add an angle to an edge, or a straight edge to an edge. Yep. Questions?
Can I ask a question? I don't know if you're
Yeah.
gonna go over this, but
Yeah, what's up?
for like the extrusions, can you use those other tools like mirroring and the linear patterns with those?
So, I mean, linear patterns are generally used for sketching. So if you sketch with a linear pattern and then extrude that, that's totally fine. I believe there's an option to like, I don't know, it just like says it here. Then you can like do something with linear pattern and extrusions, but I'm not totally sure the purpose of that is. But yeah, generally you don't
Doesn't it let
use
you like
linear patterns.
extrude like a ton of circles at the same time or whatever?
Yeah, so I mean, you can just use linear pattern to multiply the number of circles in your sketch and then it'll extrude them all at the same time.
Oh, is that instance count? Okay.
Yeah. I will look into that and get back to you on your question.
Wait, what was that instant count? What does that mean?
In the linear pattern tool for extrusions.
Oh, it's under linear. Oh, I thought that was extrusion. Okay.
Yeah, it's just linear pattern. I'm
Oh.
not sure how you would use it with an extrusion, but yeah, that's what I can look into that and let you know.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Might just be the same thing actually. select the direction. Oh yeah, okay, it is exactly the same thing. So if I do like a 4 instance count and then do like a 40 millimeter distance between them, I can just have 4 of those. Yeah. Same thing. All right. Moving on. Cool. So that's that. We're gonna go over some interesting things called sweeps. And we're gonna make half macaronis. I don't even know what this is, but it is something that you can make using a sweep. So we're gonna create a new part studio. Feel free to follow along, and we're gonna start sweeping stuff. So basically the concept of a sweep is I define 2 surfaces. I define a path in between them, and then I can use those to create a part along those 2 surfaces and along that path. Okay, so I'm gonna start a new sketch. I'm gonna start on the front plane, and I'm gonna draw a circle. And this circle is gonna have a diameter of 20 millimeters and is going to be 40 millimeters above the origin. Right? That's my first circle. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is in this sketch, hit the top plane, and I'm going to replicate the same thing. So I'm going to go create a circle right here on the top plane. Here's my circle. That's just the front plane again. Sorry. Not within the sketch. If you close out or like if you okay this sketch, pardon me, then we navigate to the top plane and we start a sketch on the top plane. And that'll just be another circle of, oh shoot, it'll just be another circle down here of diameter 20 millimeters and distance from the center of 40 millimeters. Right? Now we have 2 circles, which kind of look like that. All right. The third thing that we're going to do is we're going to start a sketch on the right plane. And on the right plane over here. And if we're going to start a sketch there, we're going to create a path along these 2 points. So that's going to be, what kind of path do we want? We want an arc. So if I make an arc between these 2 points and set the radius like 40 conveniently. Right, now we have 2 circles and a path in between those two circles. So we have 2 surfaces and a path in between them, right? We hit OK, we have 3 sketches with these 3 entities. Now what we can do is we can use the sweep tool. I can click it. What's going to ask me for is the faces that I want to sketch or like that I want to sweep. So this is my face and this is my face. And then it's going to ask me for the second thing, which is the sweep path, which is the line in between them. And once I hit OK on my sweep, lo and behold, we have a half macaroni PVC pipe elbow looking thing. Yeah, that's basically how you sweep stuff. You add 2 surfaces, a path in between them, and then you can sweep in between them. Is that clear? Is that clear? Questions about that? No? Yes? Maybe? No? Okay. And basically, same thing happens for sweeping stuff. We can also have sweep removals, I guess, if you want to call it, or cuts. So basically, I start a sketch on this surface right here, and I do a circle, and I just make the diameter 10, and hit OK. I start another sketch on this surface of our macaroni that we created, and once again make the diameter 10. And the last thing I want to do is define a sweep path in between them. So if I hit last sketch on the right plane, and I create an arc in between these 2 points, so point 1 and point 2, and I set the appropriate dimension, which is going to be 40, and I hit OK, and then I go back to my sweep tool. I have an option to remove instead of add. And my sketched faces are sketch 4 and sketch 5, which are my 2 faces, and my sweep path is sketch 6. Come on now. Sweep path. Sketch 6. Edges of sketch 6, right? No. Sweep path. Sketch 6. And I merge it with part 1. That should work. And I hit OK. That didn't work. One sec. Let me find out why that didn't work. Yeah. Okay. Basically why that didn't work is because it wasn't merged with the entire part and it was just getting confused. So make sure you merge it with the entire thing. When it asks you what part you want to merge it with, just do merge with all. And boom, we have this funky looking macaroni that has a hole through the center now. So yes, we can use CAD to create pasta.
Could you go through like each of the sketches? I kind of wanted to see like the planes that you used for it. Is
Oh
that
yeah, for
okay?
sure. Yeah, for sure. So I did my first sketch on the front plane. I did my second sketch on the top plane. So I have like two perpendicular planes, two perpendicular sketches. And then the path in between them I did on the right plane because that's the path. That's the plane that carries the path in between those 2 points. And then I swept it, which basically created this. And then the same thing for these, but I just sketched on the surfaces directly of the previous extrusion that I made. So that made life a lot easier, which is basically the same planes as the previous 3 sketches. Does that answer the question? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Any other questions about sweeps? Maybe no? Thumbs up from people who get it? Sick. Awesome. Okay. Now, we've created pasta. Now we need a bowl for our pasta. And what's the easiest way to do that? We're going to use the revolve tool. So create a new part studio. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start a sketch of the front plane. Yep, front plane. And I'm going to basically, if you take a bowl, like suppose I have this cup and I cut a 2D cross section of this, what am I going to see on one side, only on one side? So if I cut this in half and then I cut it in half again, what is the 2D cross section that I'm going to see? It's just going to be like a half trapezoid looking thing, right? So if I draw that, so I'm going to start with my line. I'm going to go up 40 millimeters. That's a tiny bowl though. 40 millimeters is like slightly more than an inch. So we're going to make it more realistic. We're going to do 80 millimeters. And we're going to go sketch our trapezoid in this direction. And we're going to go back down and we're going to go here. So that means now we have a half trapezoid. We're going to just dimension these. Dimension that as 60, dimension that as 40. Also, there's no specific numbers. I'm like totally eyeballing this right now. Yeah, don't worry about the numbers. And I hit OK. Basically, what I can do is I can take this and revolve it around a certain axis. So in this case, my axis of interest is this one right here. So if I go to this wonderful tool, revolve, which is right next to the extrusion tool, revolve, and in between the sweep and the extrusion tool, sweep is this one, in case, sorry, I didn't specify. Looks like a slightly larger piece of pasta. We're gonna hit revolve. And it's gonna prompt us for a space, which is just the one we sketched. And it's gonna prompt us for the revolve axis, which is basically that one right there. And if I hit OK, we have now what looks more like a PVC pipe plug rather than a bowl. But hey, we have this, right? Yeah, we have half a bowl. Now, fittingly with the other tools that we've just explored, this also has a cut option, right? So we're gonna suppose we start a new sketch once again on the front plane, right? And we just draw a line. What we're basically gonna do is we're gonna basically like hollow out the inside, right? So we're gonna draw the same trapezoid we drew earlier, just with a little bit of offset at the bottom, so that we can have a base here and some gap on the sides. So here we go. We're gonna do a line. And we're gonna follow the exact same dimensions as previously, and you'll see why. And we're gonna leave a 10 millimeter gap in between the bottom of this trapezoid and the bottom of the previous trapezoid, and make this 80 millimeters. Once again, create a line here, create a line here, create a line. Oh, shoot, my bad. Create a line here and create a line connecting the two of those. Once again, dimension this as 60 millimeters. Dimension this as 40 millimeters. Holy shoot, that has a very thin side, but hey, we carry on. It's all good. And I hit OK. Then I have this funky looking trapezoid, and I go back to my revolve tool. I can now do a remove revolve cut and select the trapezoid that we just do, select the revolve axis that we're interested in, which is once again this axis, which why the heck am I not able to select it? Come on now. What the? Okay, I'll try that again. So sketch 2 is a sketch we're interested in, and the revolve axis is that one. And I hit OK. Now we have this bowl for our macaroni, which has space inside. Also, now that I think about it, it looks more like a bucket than it does a bowl. But hey, that is basically how we use the revolve tool. All right, cool. Any questions about revolve? No? See thumbs up.
So basically you have to continue doing a couple sketches to do what you want for each desired reference.
Pretty much. So each tool has different ways of how it likes to be defined before it can be used. So an extrusion just requires a face, right? A sweep requires two faces and a path in between them, because of course when you sweep something, you're going along a certain path, right? And basically requires two faces and a path in between them. And then the revolve tool again requires just your face and your revolve axis. So like what axes am I going to take that 2D shape and revolve it around? That's basically the different things we need.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anybody
Alright.
have any other questions?
Would you be able to show how you made the sweep path one more time?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I don't remember which
Can,
part.
can you do it with the bucket? Can you add something with the bucket and do that?
I'm sorry?
Can you do it with the bucket?
Like
you just add something else to it and do the
yeah,
same
of
thing?
course. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with the bucket now. So if I want to make like a hole in the bottom, I can create a circle, extrude that through. If I want to do like a fillet on the edge, I can do a fillet on the edge, or like whatever floats your boat. You can always do that. Rania, to answer your question, basically, I created my first sketch on the front plane. I created my second sketch on the top plane, and then the sweep path in between them was on the right plane, right here. And that's because the path between these 2 points could really be anything, but in this case, it will lie on the right plane, and that's where I drew the path.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, so the path, you have to create a path between planes so you can do the extrude, revolve, or whichever you want to use.
Yeah,
You
for
have
the
to have a
sweep. Yeah, for the
Okay.
sweep, you have to define a path in between the 2 points. That's how it'll know to sweep along that path.
Okay.
And
2
then
points
the
or
shape.
2 planes or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I mean, you can really sweep along whatever 2 sketches that you have. In this case, I just chose to do one in the top plane and then one in the front plane, and then the path in between them. Really, it's whatever you want to do.
I get you. All right.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So that just about wraps up our kind of funny exploration of the different extrusion tools that we have. That said, I would love to move on to the next part of the presentation, which is an activity that, or a walkthrough rather, that I'll take you guys through first. So this interesting looking, like, those like, what do they call them? Like those pianos, not the pianos, but like they have those like pins and they like rotate and then they make noise. Yeah, basically it's like those like handles that you can use to spin them. And it's the unit system is in millimeters in this case. That's why my part studio is right now in millimeters. I'll show you guys how to change that. And then there's a bunch of other stuff such as density and mass, which as I'm creating this part, I will show you guys how to use those tools. Okay. So first and foremost, we have a little bit of a sketch here. We can, okay, actually, just to back that up, right now I'm just going to demonstrate how we can model this slightly complex part, right? And then what I want you guys to pick up on is like my thought process while I'm doing this. Like, okay, what does this part look like? How can I replicate it? That's basically what I want you guys to focus on. So in this case, let's go ahead with it. We see that this is like, we can divide this up into three main parts. So we can see that there's this like little base over here, which is a common theme in between these two little circular extrusions. So we know that we have to start with some base here, right? The other two geometries that we can see is this circular geometry over here and this circular geometry over here. I'm sorry. That circular geometry over there. So we have three main like parts, subparts that we can work with here. In this case, we have one circle, this circular tubular extrusion there. We have this little platform in between, and then we have this bottom one right here. Okay. And if we're looking at like a 2D cross section of what it should look like, it seems like this circle, this larger circle on the outside here, and there's this like other larger circle over here, right? It's just that you can't really see this one, right? Because it's like one side is cut off. So, but we can see that this line, which is in between those two circles or connecting them, it seems like it's tangent to this circle, and it seems like it's tangent to this circle as well. So that's also something we're going to keep in mind, and that's also a tool that's going to come in handy while we're modeling this part. So that said, I'm going to keep this. What's the best way to do this? Just switch screens when I need to. Okay, so we have the first thing I'm going to start with is this structure over here, right? This little one over here, and there's a couple things I need to kind of pay attention to. So first and foremost, we see that the diameter of this inside circle is 20, and then we can also see that the gap between the inside circle and the outside circle is 6. So that means the diameter of the outside circle is 20 plus 6 on this side as well. So then we know that the outer diameter is 32 inches, or millimeters. I'm sorry, 32 inches is crazy. And then same goes for the circle over here. We know that this distance in between is 6, this distance in between is 6, and then this diameter of this circle is also 6. So that means 6 plus 6 plus 6, 18. Cool. So I'm going to create a new part studio. And I'm going to start sketching the top plane, because remember, that was like the top view of the part that we just saw, right? So sketching the top plane. And the first thing I'm going to do is start my sketch on the top plane, and I'm going to lay out my bigger circle at the center, or at the origin of what I'm doing. Also, before I carry on, if you guys want to change your workspace units for the particular document that you're working in, click on the hamburger up top and just do workspace units, and that's the first one that you can change right here. It's change it to whatever you want to. So in this case, I'm going to do millimeters. I'm going to open my sketch back up and firstly dimension this, and we said that the outer diameter was like 32, right? So 32 millimeters. And we need to draw a second circle in line with this one. And we're going to diameter this one 18 millimeters. Now, the last thing we need we need to set to dimension this with respect to this is the distance in between those two. And I believe that's given in the sketch as like 38 or something. So yeah, the distance in between the centers of those two circles is 38 inches. So we're going to have dimension the distance in between 38 millimeters. I apologize. I, for some reason, keep saying inches instead of millimeters, but yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, next thing was, I said that the lines that are connecting these two circles seem to be tangent. A misconception in this case, or like something that people could get wrong, is assume that it goes from center to center of like both of these circles. So like this point to this point exactly. But if you actually do sketch that line out, you'll realize that that line actually intersects through the circle like right here and cuts out a part of it. So like if I show you like, okay, I want to do a line from here to here, like which is basically the centers, you'll see that this little part of the circle is getting cut out. And if you look at the sketch over here, you'll notice that we have the entirety of the circle, which means that it is tangent at some point. Okay. We're going to get a line. We're just going to arbitrarily draw the line because we don't like precision, do we? I'm joking. But basically, we're going to take this line and we're going to make a tangent to both of these circles. And if you remember from Ashley's portion of the presentation last time, we have a bunch of these relations. And the relation that we're going to use is the tangent relation. So I'm going to grab my tangent, which is basically in this drop down right next to the dimension button. And we're just going to hit the circle and we're going to hit the line and add a tangent relation in between them. And what you'll notice is this line is now tangent to this circle. Right. And then the second thing we want to do is make this line tangent to this circle. Question?
Yeah, can I see that again? Where did you click
Yeah,
on?
for sure. Okay, I'm gonna delete that sketch entity and instead I'm gonna add a line. I'm gonna just draw an arbitrary line in between, right? I'm gonna go select the outer rim of this circle and this line right here, and I'm gonna add this tangent relation in between them. Yeah?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. No worries. And now that it's tangent to this circle, basically you'll see that no matter what, or no matter how I kind of maneuver the line, it always remains at a tangent to that circle. Now to fully define this line, we also need to make a tangent to this circle. So once again, I'm going to take this circle, this line, and just hit tangent. Oh, selected my circle for some reason, and boom, there we go. Now we have this line, which is tangent to that circle as well. Now, the only thing about this line, which is not specified, is its length. That's why these two dots are blue right there. The way I'm going to do that is fix the problem just by trimming out the rest. And that we can do using the trim tool. Do you guys have familiarity with the trim tool, or like, did you guys understand how we use the trim tool? Basically, when we want to trim entities, you just click on the scissor, which is a trim tool, and you just hover over the part you want to trim out. That's as simple as that. Yeah, awesome. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this line and mirror it to the other side. Given that everything is symmetrical, it should be fine in defining everything as we want it to. So now we have a line on this side, which is contacting our two circles. Yep. Cool. So now we have a base sketch, which looks something like this. What we need to do is we need to extrude it. Now, how much is the extrusion for a center platform? It's 6 millimeters, as you can see right there in the specification. So extrude 6 millimeters, boom. And I have this 2D cross-section platform looking thing. Okay. That said, did everybody follow along with what I just did? I know I went kind of fast. Just shoot me a thumbs up if you guys are following along. Yeah. Okay. All right. Saw some thumbs ups. Cool. Awesome. The next part of this sketch that I want to finish, or that I want to complete, is this. Let's work on this circular thing right here, the bigger circle on top. So we know that this platform is already 6 millimeters, right? So whatever additional extrusion that we're gonna make is excluding that 6 millimeters. So in this case, we have a 14 millimeter extrusion from the base up here, and then a 6 millimeter extrusion from the base up to here. So that means that whatever extra we need to do is got to be 8 millimeters. Yep. Okay. That said, we're going to start a sketch on the top part of this part over here, and we're going to draw the inner circle. What the heck? Where did that circle come from? We're going to draw the inner circle starting at the origin, because that is the center of our previous circle. So we are chilling. Boom. And if I'm not wrong, the diameter of this circle was 20 millimeters. So we have a fully defined inner circle over here, right?
My bad. Could
Now-
you go back to the extrude one?
Yeah. Extrude one. Yeah, for sure. Anything that like you want me to explain, or just want to see it one more time?
I guess like the joining of like the tangent lines to the second circle, like when
Yeah,
I
of course.
extrude it. Yeah, my
Okay,
bad.
for sure. No, you're good. You're totally chilling. Yeah, the questions are great. Keep them coming. So basically, what we did is we drew a line. I'll just do it quickly. We drew a line in this sketch of some arbitrary length. It doesn't matter because we'll take care of that later. And we're going to use this tangent relation. So it's like a bunch of these relations, blah, blah, blah. What we're worried about is tangent, right? So we know what tangent is. Click on these two. That makes sure that this is tangent with this circle. Click on these two, make sure that these two are tangent, and then we're going to just trim off the x's. And the next thing we're going to do is just mirror across the center line. And boom, that completes the sketch. Yep.
Got it.
No worries. Okay, great. Now, for some reason, this thing has decided to combust, so we will redimension it. 20 millimeters. And what we want to do in this case is we want to take like an outer circle and we want to extrude it upwards, right? And we know that there's already a circle here. Like if I hover over that arc, I can see that there's an arc which forms up until the point where we made it tangent, right? So what we can actually do to complete the circle instead of drawing a new circle is just use the 3-point arc tool and draw the arc, right? And then just make the radius of the previous circle. So in this case, the radius is 16.003, which I don't know why 16.003 shouldn't be, but yeah, that's basically the radius of that circle. And then what we can do is just extrude the outside the appropriate amount. So if I hit this, and no, not that. If I hit the extrude button and take the outer part of this circle, I can basically extrude it upwards 8 millimeters, and that achieves basically what we were trying to achieve earlier. Yeah?
Sorry, can I see how you did the arc again?
Yeah, for sure. So when I see my sketch over here, I already know that the basis of this sketch on the bottom, or this extrusion on the bottom, is one bigger circle over here, right? And if I hover my cursor over that bigger circle that I originally drew, I can see that there's this orange colored arc which comes up, right? And that's the circle that we want to follow. So what we can do is we can take the 3-point arc, we can drop a point where that circle ends, we can drop a point where this circle ends, and then we can extend it outwards until it clicks. Basically, that means that it's at
okay, got it.
It's creating that circle again, or it's at the appropriate radius, which makes sense, right? Because we made the 32 millimeter circle to start with. So if I hit OK and I get this circular extrusion. Yeah, cool. Everybody cool with that? Yeah. Okay. Let me know if there's questions or if I'm going too fast.
And what was the millimeter for the extruder too?
8 millimeters.
8. Right?
So.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason for that is because we know that this entire column is 14, including the 6 millimeter and 6 millimeter extrusion. So we just need to extrude an additional 8 millimeters.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no worries. Okay, now if you'll notice in this part, where the hell did it go? Okay, here it is. If you notice in this part, there's actually it's white in the background, so that means there's a through extrusion going through it, like it's empty in the center, right? So basically, the way we are going to empty out the center is a remove extrusion. So we're going to go remove. Now, because we already have created this geometry, we can select the inner circle. And basically, you can just do a depth of 14, whatever you please. Like, it's fine. But a very quick and easy way of doing this is by hitting this caret menu when you do a remove extrusion. And then there'll be an option called up to face. What up to face essentially means is I am making this extrusion and I'm defining the stopping point as a particular face on my sketch, right? So in this case, I want to hollow this hole out all the way from the top of this little guy to the bottom of this little guy, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do up to face, and the face that it's going to prompt me with will just be the bottom of this guy. And it's going to limit my remove extrusion at the bottom of this double circular plank that we made. And that's a really quick and easy way without dimensioning things just to get the extrusion of exact precision that you want. Okay, is everybody okay with that? Comfortable with that? Does everybody get the concept of like doing an up to face remove extrusion? Yeah? Okay, great. Awesome. Now, once I'm done with that, that's half my sketch complete. Now, basically need to repeat what I did on the top for the bottom, right? It's not much different at this point. It's once again just a 24 millimeter extrusion. And there's a hole of 6 millimeters, which is going to the center. And yeah, that's basically it. So start a sketch. I'm gonna do this quickly, relatively, and start it at the center, dimension it to 6 millimeters, and do a 3-point arc like we did previously. Oh shoot, I did it backwards. It's on me. Start from the bottom, go to the top, complete my circle, check it off, extrude it, and extrude it 24 millimeters. That creates the handle. And the second step that I want to do is to remove extrusion through the center. And I just do up to face, up to face, and the face will just be this face right here. And I hit OK, and boom, we have completed the part. Okay. That is basically my thought process behind how to create this part. Were you guys able to follow along with that? Yeah. That last step was very fast, I agree, but I think it was the same as the previous one, so we went past it quickly. Okay. Are there any questions, concerns, comments? Was that interesting? Like more interesting than just sketching stuff or like creating drawings? Yeah. Do we like Onshape or are we like Onshape haters?
I don't
Mom,
really. This
go
is the
ahead.
only one I've used, so I don't mind
Okay.
it.
Okay, yeah, Onshape's just convenient. Its claim to fame is its convenience. You know, SolidWorks users, those guys have to control S everything they do. Hey, we don't even have to do that. We just close the tab and it auto saves. So yeah. All right, cool.
Good question.
Yeah, question.
For extrude 2, I couldn't click on the outer part. It's just like for me, it's just working on an inner circle. It's not like working on the it's not
Okay,
working
so
on
did you draw the arc over here?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Okay, so you should be able, if this arc is completed, if it's fully defined, you should be able to, when you create extrude 2, just select the area in between those two circles.
All right, I'm gonna try to figure out. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Now, I know I've been talking for a long time, but where's it at? Where's the agenda at? But if you guys want to like, would you guys rather have your break right now or yeah, I'm gonna give you your 10-minute break. I've been talking for a long time. Feel free to take a 10-minute break.
Could you leave the dimensions up?
Oh yeah, for sure, I
So
got you.
yeah, I
This
just
one?
want to check on something. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. You guys can all see it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, all right. If we can slowly start coming back and pick back up. Give everybody a few seconds. There we go. We start seeing some more faces now. Come on, guys, don't be shy. All right. Okay, so do you guys want to take like 10 minutes and try to play around and see if you guys can try modeling this part over here, or would you guys rather just move on to a new activity and try modeling that instead? Like, would it be helpful to do this, or would it be helpful to just move on to a new one?
I'd like to play around with it a little bit.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes. You guys have seen me model it once already. Try modeling it, modeling this part on your own. Okay. If you have any questions, unmute. I'm right here. Yeah. Is it cool if is there any way I can do like freeze to this screen or something? Is that possible? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna send you guys this slide deck. That you guys can pull up the dimensions on your computer, and then we'll edit it after. Shit. Oh, okay, here it is for use, and I'll stop.
Yo, Anakin,
Yeah.
can you go back to like your model? I wanted to see how you extruded the sketch one, sketch two again, but with the lines. Because when I extrude it, like it only extrudes like the two circles instead of like the joint lines as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I gotcha. Casey. Okay. Which extrusions? Extrusion one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when I extrude it, it doesn't like select like the lines. It kind of just does the two circles instead.
Oh, okay. So did you also select the middle portion? It doesn't look like this.
Even if I select the lines, it doesn't really extrude. Still.
So Mike, is the space in between the lines grayed out, or is it just like?
Oh, it's not grayed out.
Okay, so that probably means that in the first sketch you drew, there's something which is not part of the line, which is not actually connected to your circles. So I'd go back to the first sketch and look if there's any like issues related to that. And then once the sketch is complete, the middle area should become grayed out and you should be able to select it.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Oh shit, I broke mine. There you go.
I also have a question.
Yeah.
Can I share my screen and show you?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do the second screwed. But this is my second sketch. So I'm not
Okay.
sure if I did it
Okay.
incorrectly because when I do my second screwed, it just gives me
Okay.
errors.
No worries, no worries. So just X out of sketch 2.
Okay.
So your first sketch looks good. Your first extrusion also looks good. Okay, go back into sketch 2. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay. So it looks like the arc is not defined with respect to something, so just delete the arc.
Oh, okay.
You can just right click delete. Yeah. And it just hover over like the left edge of the extrusion that you made. Like just exit out of the circle tool. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So okay, so that looks good. So you do have an arc going. So now what you can do is you can take the 3-point arc tool. Yep. And place 1 point at the very end of the orange line. It'll click itself. Yep. And yep. And drag it out and it should click at the very center. Yep.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Now
Oh, yeah.
the last what the okay,
Wait,
yeah, just
alright.
yep. All right, so that's perfect. That's fully defined. Now what you have to do is just create this circle in the center and then you can extrude the area in between them.
Alright. I'll go ahead and try it then. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. Okay, I'll give you guys 3 minutes more just to work on this. And then we can move on. Actually, like how much time do you guys think you'll need for this?
I would say 5 more minutes.
Okay. All right, I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. Sounds good. And then I will demonstrate a few more things which I think are important. But yeah, time is yours right now. All right, if I can reel you guys back in real quick. That should be ample time to kind of get a hang of the demonstration. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen back again. There's a couple things on the slides that I wanted to point out. It says density and mass, right? Basically, we can use these to calculate the weight of a part in our CAD softwares. So in this case, I want to assign this part that I have a material so that I can calculate its mass. And that the way I'm going to do that is by assigning it its density first. So the way I can do that is, you see part 1 down here. You guys should all have part 1, the part that you guys just made. If I go here, if I right click on it and then I go assign material or edit material, I can set a custom density. And in this case, for some reason, it's pound per millimeter cubed, or like per cubic millimeter. So you just have to convert 7870 kg per meter cubed into this unit. And then if I hit OK and assign it that material, I can go to the bottom right corner, which this is button, which is display mass properties. I can hit that button and I can hit part 1 for parts to measure, and it's going to pop up with the mass, which is 0.282 pounds. And if I convert 0.282 pounds to grams, we have 128.028 grams, which is 128.03 grams. Cool. So that's how you guys can measure masses of the parts that you make. Okay. All right. That said, I'm going to move on to the next activity, which is a little bit of a practice activity. And it's going to be, you guys are tasked with creating this funky looking thing. And I'm not even sure what it's used for, but it exists. And one thing I would like to explain before we dive into this activity, there's a couple things. Firstly, you'll notice the density once again, so that once you're done modeling the part, at the end, you can set the density and measure the mass. And you'll notice this thing called global entities, right? So if you guys, like in math, if you guys are familiar with the programming language, if you set a particular variable, you can reuse that variable anywhere throughout your code. And in a CAD software, it's the same principle. So in this case, if you'll notice the blueprint, everything is given in terms of A, B, and C. So you'll see, oh, A is down here, C is over here, A is over here. The gaps in between are spaced with B. So basically, we need to somehow set a global variable in our in our CAD software so that it can be reused over and over again. And I'll quickly show you guys how to do that. Yeah. So if I go variable, if I go to my search bar and I can search variable, it's going to pop up with this X, hit variable. I can name it whatever I want to name it. So in this case, I would like you guys to do A, B, and C because that's what it says on the slides. So if I name A and I believe it was 38, right? 38. Then whenever I want to use this variable in my sketches, I can do so easily. So if I want to create a circle of diameter A, it would be really easy for me to do that. I just click create a new sketch. I create a circle and I can dimension it. But instead of typing in the dimension that I want, instead of typing in the numbers exactly, what I can do is just add a hashtag and then do A. Or I just type A and it gives me the option to do that. And that'll directly set my diameter to whatever the value of A is. And the way you get variables is if you go to the search tools, you can search variable and it's the one with the X. Okay. That said, I am going to give you guys time to start working on this part. And if you have any questions, unmute yourselves. I'm over here. And yeah, I would love for you guys to practice the principles that we just did. by modeling this part. Cool. How about it?
Ooh.
Can you show me the global entity, how to set up things?
Yeah, of course. I got you. So if we go to Onshape and in our search tools, we just search for variable, which is right here. So if I go variable, I can set a variable by just adding a name and setting its value, right? Boom, the variable is set. Now I have B, which is 12 millimeters. And whenever I want to sketch something else of, suppose, a circle of diameter B, I can just do hashtag B and we'll set it to the appropriate radius or diameter. And it applies to whatever dimension you're trying to do. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
What was
Oh,
C
shoot.
again?
One sec.
Oh, actually, it's in the slides, right?
Yeah, it is in the slides. Were you guys able to see what I just screen shared?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome. There we go. I'll just leave that up there.
You typed in variable into the search bar, right?
Yep.
Nothing's popping up for me when I type in variable.
That was happening to me earlier. If you're in sketch mode, it wasn't popping up like while you're sketching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You know what would be really funny? If we create like an Onshape Spotify playlist and then we send it to the SolidWorks people.
What do you mean?
We create like a group Spotify playlist titled Onshape, and then we send it to the not Spotify people, I'm sorry, the SolidWorks people as
Oh,
a combative move that we're
but they're not chill like us.
exactly.
So let's do it.
Yeah. I think that would be a great idea
Just play it in the background.
for sure. Actually, do you guys want to make a Spotify playlist? I can like play music if you guys want. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
The ref is terrible. There's no excuse for that.
Okay, I'm dropping the link to the Spotify playlist in the chat. Let me know if this works.
Hi, Annika, I have a question.
Yeah.
The length is the center circle length is diameter is 8 times 3, right? So it's basically 38 millimeter times 3.
For which one?
The center. The center big.
Yeah. So yeah, the center is dimension A multiplied by 3, but you do have to keep in mind that that is factoring in the two gaps of B as well.
2 caps of B.
So you know how it says A multiplied by 3, right? Yeah. So A multiplied by 3 is the diameter of the outer circle. It's the
Right.
outer diameter, it's not the inner diameter.
Uh-huh.
So the inner diameter is actually what the outer diameter is minus a factor of like 2 multiplied by B, right? Or like 2B, right? Because
Right.
if you look at the inner diameter, it's just the outer one minus 2B. So that's basically when you're doing that, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but when I implement that, it's gonna be 114 millimeter, and it's just gonna be like so big, and it's out of the kind of scale on the top side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know if this has to be to scale, but yeah, 140 millimeters
So
sounds
like,
right.
can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
It looks like this right now. It's gonna like pop out.
Yeah.
Is that it's cool, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was too big.
No, it's all good.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. 140 millimeters is like slightly less than 6 inches. Yeah. Yeah, A is 38, B is 12, and C is 3, I believe. A38, B12, C3. Also on the slides.
You probably said it already, but how do I put the variable A? I don't know
Oh
if I
yeah, for
typed it
sure.
in right. Let me
So
share my screen.
yeah, go for
There it
it.
is.
Mhm.
Is it showing?
Yeah, sure. So
All right.
first thing, just
I
exit sketch mode. Oh shoot, sorry. Yeah, you're good. You already added the variables. I'm sorry. Go back to sketch.
okay.
Yeah. Dimension,
Dimension.
or like double click on the dimension that you already made. And then instead of 38 multiplied by 5 millimeters, just do hashtag
Hashtag.
A multiplied by 5. That should work. Okay, why? It seems like something is up with your variable definitions. Oh, did you sketch and then make your variables?
Am I supposed to do the sketch after?
Yeah, take what you can do is just take sketch one and drag it all the way after C. Yeah, now try. There you go.
All right.
Ooh. But yeah, that's working now, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, can I ask a question? What's that? Is D another variable? Or how do you find out the diameter of the outer two circles?
Which ones?
Like the outer two ones?
Okay. Well, one of them is just A multiplied by 2/3, right, which is the inner diameter. And then the outer diameter would just be A multiplied by 2/3 plus 2B, which is the gap,
Okay.
right?
Sorry, I didn't even see that at all.
No, you're chilling. It's
I was
all
like, where
good.
you get the 2/3 from? All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Out of curiosity, are you guys able to access like the Spotify playlist or add anything to it?
I don't know how, but I'm also just not good with Spotify. So
I don't use Spotify, so
Okay.
I access it. I just haven't added anything. I was waiting for you
Okay.
to add one, and then I'll see. But I
For
access
sure,
it.
for sure. Um, what are we thinking? Any recommendations for songs? Oh, you guys have collaborating access, so.
yeah, we can just have some crazy variation within our playlist.
Oh no.
We could also just make it like make it spell something, or you guys have seen like it's just the name of the song, so they can read something. Like the songs don't matter, but the titles matter. We could
What
also
like
do that.
so like you like with the titles of the song, you have to spell a sentence?
Yeah, like something that I would say.
I love whoever just put they not like us in there because it's like Spotify is greater or like Onshape is greater than SolidWorks and it's like they not like us because they're not like us. That move deserves like 10 out of 10 for sure.
What to think of.
I'm gonna add songs to the Spotify playlist that pertain to Onshape being Onshape relative to SolidWorks. I'm sorry, I have no life.
I'm actually very intrigued to see what you could possibly add.
I got you, bro. What I'm thinking.
I'm more of a Apple Music person, so I don't really have Spotify. I have it, I just never use it.
That's a whole new debate right there.
Yeah. I feel like all
As
the
of
cool kids use Spotify, but I like Apple Music.
I have music too, actually, like with my family. Like we're on like the family plan. But just I just activated the Spotify like 3 month free. So I got the premium temporarily. But honestly, I have no clue when it runs out. So
as of like maybe last month, Spotify is officially more expensive. Spotify Premium is officially more expensive than Apple Music.
really?
Yeah,
I know, I saw that.
it's crazy. They've been
Even
they've
like the
Even
been
with the
student one?
discount though? There's a student discount, no? Even with the discount?
yeah, even with the discount.
No
Like
Wow.
cause
way.
yeah, I have the student Spotify and it's gotten pretty expensive, which is an L. But
Honestly, it's one of those things that I don't pay attention how much it costs because either way I'm gonna pay for it. But I did saw
exactly.
that it went up.
How do you make a tangent line without it moving the circle? Because like when I do the tangent line, it makes the circle bigger rather than just moving the line.
Okay, that probably means that your circle isn't fully defined.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, no worries.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm not able to trim like the excess line from the tangent line that I sketch. I'm not sure
Mhm. Okay. Do you want to share your screen?
sure. So when I try to like trim this part, it's not like
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Okay. So it just trims the entire line, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's because it's not basically you've already made your extrusions. So that that line is actually not coincident to anything, or like it's not defined by anything which is in a sketch. It's just coincident. It's just tangent um to the two extrusions that you made. So instead of doing that, if you can go back into your first sketch and then make that tangent line, then you'll be able to trim off the excess.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Of course.
Wait, Annika, I had a question.
Yeah, what's up?
About like that, like you know, like that weird, like that, like funky looking, like extrusion on the thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the middle
Yeah,
of both circles. Yeah,
yeah. How
I
do you
got you.
make?
Okay. Um, did you try making it already?
Oh, I mean, like I don't know, like what like to
Okay.
start with.
All right. No worries. No worries. So, I'll kind of walk you through that. So basically, before I show you guys how to do it, I'll just talk you through it right now. But how I did it was I basically realized that the edge of that little weird funky shape in between
Yeah.
there's a like a three something like the gap is C, right, for the outline. So basically that means that it has to be C everywhere, and that means that the curved part, which is like parallel to this circle, has to also be like from the same center point as where you drew your previous circles. So that's how I drew one of the edges, and then I drew a straight edge on top, and then I did the same for the inner circle, and then I did one for the bottom, right?
Mm.
And then for the ends where it rounds off, basically I did four circles with radius. What was it like? R is equal to C over four or something, right? For the rate or for the diameter. So I set four circles with that diameter, and then what I did is I made those circles tangent to those lines, and coincident to points on the circle. That's what I did. I know
Okay.
that was like a very long-winded explanation, but let me know if that made sense.
All right. No, I think I got the idea. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. No worries.
Can I share how I did it?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
I just used the offset tool. And then I
Okay.
used sketch or sketch fillets, something like that. And then I just extruded both of them like 3 millimeter C
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, fire. Okay.
Here's my part.
Yeah. So how?
Sorry, I'm extruding it right now. Cut it.
Yeah. No worries. How did you just walk me through it one more time?
Sure. Okay, that's being weird. I'll do that after. So basically what I did was I just used the offset tool. So like, and then I mirrored it. Wait, so I can go back.
Yeah.
Or I can just redo it right now because it's really easy. Like this. But basically I just made a new sketch and I picked this as my plane, and then I used this offset tool here. And I just click here. And then you can just set this distance to 3 millimeters.
Oh yeah, that would work perfectly fine as well.
And then that's it. And then I just use the sketch fillet and then
Oh,
that's
for
all.
sure. Fire. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. That is a much easier way of doing it. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for showing that. That was really good.
After making the tangent lines to the circle, how am I supposed to make it like an area that I can extrude?
You want to share your screen?
Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I try to extrude, I can't. It's not really
Yeah.
an area that I can do.
Okay. No worries. So, same thing I suggested, I believe, Diana. Just first, instead of doing the extrusions first, complete your sketch and then do the extrusion. So I think in this case, yeah, in this case, so all the points are coincident as well. They should be filling in those areas. So basically, why it's not filling in those areas, it's because of these like the circles are still completed. So if you use the trim tool and get rid of all of those circles inside and then just keep the outlines, that should help you at least create a base. And then from the base, you can work upwards instead of trying to create the extrusions first and then doing the stuff around it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
How
would
do I
try
get rid
that.
of the circles inside?
So you see the trim tool?
Do I just like?
Yeah, you clicked it right now.
Yeah.
You can just trim the points that you want to trim. So like the like inside outlines of the circles, you can just trim those off. Or like what I'm trying to say is like the outer circumference of the circles.
Oh.
Inside. Yeah. Yeah. More so the one outside of that.
Wait. I lost my circle.
No worries.
This one, like.
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is like when you make this part, try to do the base first and then work upwards from there. Instead of doing like each cylindrical portion independently and then extruding those. So right, like just work on the base first and then work upwards from there, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Then you can make a base first and then you can
Got you.
proceed upwards from
Thank
there.
you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no worries.
So I have a question. Can I share mine?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay. So I tried to, I want to just like ask something. So I intentionally like did half of it to see like, can I just like do, for example, on like bigger projects, just do like half of it and then, just use it.
Mirror it over. Yeah.
So first of all, like the half of it is right? Like it's just.
Yeah, that looks perfect. Yeah.
Okay. How can I just do the symmetry for this? Can I like do it
Okay.
or?
You can mirror stuff in 3D. There should be a mirror tool, but I will caution you. Right now your parts, like there are three different parts. Like the stuff you extruded is three different parts.
Okay.
So you should probably merge those into one part before mirroring it over. Otherwise, it might yell at you.
What do you mean? Oh, like you mean these?
Yeah. See how it's three parts?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. So if you go to tools,
okay, tools. Oh,
there's
like
this tool called a Boolean. Just search a Boolean.
what is it?
Boolean, BOO. Yeah, that one. And then just click all three of your parts, and that should combine all three of them.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like,
and now he just hit the check mark. Yeah, that should make it all one part. Yeah. So now what you can do is you can just mirror over the right plane. Yeah.
Okay, so for mirroring it, I just need to like the same process, right? Like just.
Yep. So just go to the mirror tool.
So I gotta click on one of the sketches or.
Nope. Right. Just mirror tool, I think.
Oh, the thing is this, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And entities to mirror, you just want to mirror the part over itself, right? So if you
Yeah.
just do part 1 as your entity to mirror,
Okay.
and then you do the mirror plane as a right plane, which is like basically intersecting the entire part, right?
Like right plane here.
Yeah. If you just make that the right plane, like right to your left, you'll have an option of top, front, right. You can click right there.
Oh, you mean here?
No, on the left side of the mirror menu, you'll have like 3 options, like origin, top, right, front, right there, right there. Yeah, yeah. You just went right over it. Down. You're good. You're good. No worries. No worries. Just click out of the hamburger.
Let's see. Where was it? Is here? Like I gotta click
No,
on
no,
this?
down. Just put your cursor down. Yeah, to your right over
Oh,
there.
like this
Top,
one.
front, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you
Oh,
go.
got it. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then just hit OK, and then you're good.
Oh,
Sick.
okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you know where you set the density for the tools?
Yep.
Yeah,
Is that a question?
like where, yeah, like where's the density thing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the left menu,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to share your screen? It might be easier if I just explain to you that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the left menu, you see part 1. Right click on that. So like, yeah, right click.
Sorry, I'm on like the
No,
I don't have a
don't apologize.
mouse, so
You're totally good. Yeah, there's no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, you see assign material. Yep, and then hit custom. Yeah, and then you can name it whatever you want, and then put the density in whatever. Just be careful of the unit and make sure you convert it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, I'll give you guys like 10 more minutes to work on this, and then I can go through it if you guys want, or at least my thought process on how I modeled that part. For sure.
Aniket, is it okay if I
Yeah.
just share something and you can like just give me some more guidance if that's okay?
Yeah, of course, no worries.
Sorry, I'm just stuck on what I would do after here.
No, you're totally cool. Don't worry about it. Don't apologize. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, first thing I would do is fully define everything. If you notice, the lines that are supposed to be, they're not tangent to both of the circles. So I would just make sure that's the first thing is that.
I can define.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll like make these like outer lines defined.
Yeah, basically you need to define everything. That's the first step.
Okay.
And then, I don't think the lines that are connecting to the outer circles are tangent to them. They might be. They don't look like they are though. So that's the second thing I would do, and then I would extrude the base.
Okay.
And then you can work on the cylinders from there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, first get a base. like get a base going first. Yeah.
Okay, I'll fix those. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Let me know if that works out.
I get a quick question. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Go for it.
How do I set the dimension? I can't, I'm trying to do it dimension that is equal to C, right?
Where?
Here and
Okay.
here.
So did you use the offset tool?
Yeah, I just,
Okay. So do you see where it says 5?
yeah.
So instead of 5, just make that 3, and that should change the distance in between any of them.
For some reasons, it's saying that it's coming from the center.
Zoom into it.
Oh,
X out of dimension. Just like exit from the dimension tool completely. So just escape. Yeah. Yep. And then you see the 5.
yeah.
Click on that. And then you can change that to 3.
3.
Yeah. That should fix it. Can you just zoom in a bit more?
For some reason,
You should
Oh.
be able to do it now. Yeah. Maybe it's just too far zoomed out. Double click and just change it.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go. Yep.
Oh,
That
and
should
then
have. Yeah, it knows. It should have changed the offset on every side to 3 millimeters.
when I hover over something like this and I just click delete, then it's gonna disappear, right?
Yep.
Every time. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Can you help me up on mine? Kind of stuck on the part where I think I have to do the inside.
Yeah, for sure.
Position. Is it showing? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I see it.
I guess the piece that goes in here, I think it says 8x radius equals C. Is that what it means?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's right.
And what it means by 8x is that's the radius, 8?
Yeah. So basically it's trying to say that 8 times the radius is equal to C. So we can find the offset radius by just doing C divided by 8. That's your offset radius.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, the fillet radius for the offset. Yeah.
Fillet. Oh, all right.
Also make sure that everything is one part. So do you remember the thing I showed earlier, the Boolean thing?
No, actually I forgot. Can you show
No
me again?
worries. So yeah, of course. So if you go to tools and you go to Boolean,
Go to tools. Where do I go to tools?
top right under the share button,
Oh, right
search
here.
tools. Yeah, Boolean. Yep. And
All right.
then you just hit your parts. So part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just click all of them. Yeah. And then
All
just
right.
hit check mark. That should merge all of your parts.
All
Yep.
right. Cool. Nice.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'm kind of stuck on like the circles. Some of the circles are not defined, but I'm still not sure why.
Yeah. Let's take
Yeah.
a look. Okay. Alright. So did you define the center of the outer circles with reference to the center of the like middle circle or like the origin or something?
Which one? This one?
Yep. So define that with reference to like the origin or with reference to something which is already defined. That will probably solve your problem.
I reference it based on here. So when I create the circle with the center point, there is like a orange line that's as like a reference, and then I click on that and then make the
Yeah. No, I understand that, but have you specifically dimensioned it with like respect to something which has already been fully defined?
not yet.
Yeah, so that should help. So if you just do that and then just do like 2.5 times A. Yeah. Just do like A times 2.5 because it's actually 5, like yeah, I think. The variable A,
Times
2.5. Yeah. Why is that not working? Can you delete the dimension? Let me just take a look. Can you like just click on one of the blue outlines and just move around so that we can see why it's not white? Okay. Like just any of the blue lines and just try to move them around. Just click out a dimension. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so that means that the length of those lines wasn't defined. So if you define that, you're fine. Interesting. Okay.
So should I like leave it here?
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to define the length of that line. It's more likely to do with something with your circles, but that also works as a solution, yeah, because it seems like all your relations are correct. Yeah, so you can do that too.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no worries. That works. Okay. It is 9:45, so I will just start going through this thing right now. Okay. All right. Give me a sec. All right. So the way I did this, share my screen real quick. Okay. You guys can see, right? Okay. So you guys have probably heard me like repeatedly say that make sure that like try to make a base before you actually and then build up from there, right? So that's usually whenever I'm modeling anything, that's usually my first thing. Try to create a base and then you can work around that. So first thing I did was sketched the base. Oh, well, actually, the first thing I did was set my variables. That's hilarious. So A38. B12. C3. Okay. And top. The first thing I did was A multiplied by 3, and then I'm going to do these two. So get so A multiplied by 3. And I believe that's what it was. Yep. Well, no. Cool. Does everybody got that? Follow along with that. I didn't really say anything, but yeah, cool. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going. Cool. Do we got that? Yeah? Chilling. Not necessary, but it still did it because I don't know why. And so 9 millimeters. And that's the base. So now we can do the circles inside. All right, we good so far? Yeah, okay. All right, just interrupt me if you guys don't follow along with something. I'm just kind of going on. Working here. So, all right, let's see. 25, so 9 minus 25, 16. Okay.
Press the view button on the sketch too. That's why it goes away.
Sorry?
The little eye on the where it says sketch 2. That's why you can't see it because it goes away because it disappears. Because you're trying to right? The little eye on the right of that. Oh yeah, the little eye.
Where?
The eye on the right of that.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I see. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Yep, that's exactly what I was trying to do. Thank you. And it's 38. Yeah, that doesn't. Oh, 38 above that. Okay, so 38 plus 16. C4. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. And then the last step would just be, wait, I lied to you guys. We need to extrude the insides of these first. Remove extrude, up to face, bottom side. And then last but not least.
Sorry, can I see how did you do that?
Yeah. The last step?
Yeah, just if you can go slow a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Extrude, remove. I select the three things I want to hollow out.
Yes.
Set a blind, I do up to face, and then I hit the bottom surface.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Last thing. Offset. And 3 millimeters. And then I can also add a sketch fillet. Oh my God. Yep. And then we can set the radius of the sketch fillets. I believe it was like 3 or 3 by 8. Hashtag. No. See. Okay, great. And then to complete this offset sketch, we can mirror it. So we go mirror line, and whatever. Yep. And then last step is extrude sketch 3.
Wait, I had a question about the sketch fillet. Can you
Yeah.
explain or show again how you did that?
Yeah, of course, no worries. So basically, the sketch fillets, I just applied them at points. So if I just delete sketch 3, I can do it again.
You go to the sketch.
Yeah, so basically what I did is I started a sketch on this surface. I added an offset.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
And I don't know why I did it backwards. Yeah, probably have to switch its direction. Yeah, there we go. That, right? And then basically the way you do the sketch fillet is you go to the sketch fillet tool and then just click on the points where you want to add the sketch fillet.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And then the final step was just to mirror that across. Okay, so mirror. No. I have to mirror everything. Okay, did I get everything? Okay. Extrude, sketch 3, remove extrusion of, how much was it? C. Hashtag C, and done. Okay, that completes the part. That's, I think, probably the simplest way to do it. If you guys follow along, I like sped through that because we're like 3 minutes from finishing. But basically, it was the same as the earlier example that we did, with the addition of the offset and the sketch fillet at the end. If you guys want to overcomplicate it, then you can like draw individually, draw circles and lines, which is what I did initially to start with. I didn't even think of doing the offset, so that was genius. Thank you. But yeah, that's the part in a nutshell. Quick questions. Anybody questions? concerns, worries?
Quick question. The
Yeah.
offset is the 3 millimeter is the difference distances from the left and right and all that is all three, right? The
Yeah.
bottom. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Questions? Any other questions?
What's this part for?
Part what?
What's this part used for, or is it just a fun project?
Oh, I have no idea. I think it's from like a SolidWorks examination. So they like make you CAD a bunch of different parts, and it's just taken from one of those practice sets. So I have no clue what it's used for, but it's used for a SolidWorks exam, if that helps.
All right.
Yeah, no worries.
It's just also pipe with screws, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
We cooked a lot, guys. Congrats.
For real. Good lesson in depth.
Yeah, Anakin made it look easy. Just did it in what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes? It's a record. Is that a record? Did you beat your record, man?
All right, I hate to stop it short. We got to head back to the main room from
Yeah.
Wes. But good job, everyone. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we're
cheers,
able to
guys.
make some progress.
I hope that made sense. I know at times it was a bit fast and whatnot, but yeah.
Nah, it made sense, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.